Hey guys, thank you for having me. And yeah, my name is Leonardo. I am the founder of PartnerChain, a B2B platform to find partnerships in Web3. So today I'm here with you to talk about collaboration. How Web2, Web3 partnerships can bring innovation into our industry. It's not just about technology, but about creating a new space where new ideas can flourish and we can apply this technology to real world cases. So throughout the past year, more or less, I've been understanding how essential partnerships are for any business. And that was one of the main reasons for me to start building PartnerChain, to help businesses create partnerships in Web3 in a more quick and efficient way. And most recently, I have realized how powerful partnerships between Web 2 and Web 3 can be in order to grow this industry and bring innovation. Yeah, so today, just the wrong slide. So today I'm going to be deep diving into the how and why of these types of partnerships, and I'm going to be exploring the opportunities, some cases, some case studies, the challenges and the approach to these types of partnerships. So first of all, what are strategic partnerships? Well, basically these are collaborations between two or more entities aiming to achieve a common goal that's beneficial for all the parties involved. It's about leveraging the other's strengths in order to create something bigger. There's different types of partnerships. I'm not going to go into all of them, but the main ones. We've got the affiliate partnerships. This is where a company promotes another company in exchange usually for a commission. We've got the co-marketing partnerships. This is the ones we see the most, where some companies just share their logos and that's it. But usually it involves two or more companies coming together for a marketing campaign. We've got the distribution partnerships where a company shares the products or services of other company. We've got technology partnerships, which usually involve integrating different technological solutions in your partner's project. We've got the licensing partnership, where your company usually will use your partner's products, service, or even brand name under certain conditions. And we've got the joint product or service development, where different companies or projects come together and they create a new product, service, or even experience. So now that I've listed a few of different types of partnerships, why should you make strategic partnerships? Well, making strategic partnerships in a general way, it's about opening new doors. It's about opening doors to new possibilities. And there are many benefits to it. You have the resource sharing. When different companies and projects come together, they can share resources, whether it's expertise, technology, or market access. You've got a lot of knowledge exchange. When you mix different companies, each one of them is going to have different sets of skills. And so there's usually a huge exchange of knowledge in these collaborations. You've got market expansion, which is really important. It's a great way to reach new audiences and put your product in front of more people. There's the innovation part. Obviously, when different minds come together with different backgrounds and different perspectives, there's a higher chance that you exchange ideas and you bring innovation into the table. There's a competitive advantage benefit. In competitive markets like Web3, if you can stand out from your competition, there's a higher chance of success of your project. And having the right partnerships with the right projects and the right companies can increase the chances of that happening. So how can these collaborations or partnerships between companies or projects from Web 2 and Web 3 bring innovation into this industry that is Web 3. User adoption. We love to talk about the mass adoption of Web 3, and I believe that a lot of it is going to come from the right partnerships with the right big players from Web 2. They have the user base, we have the innovative solutions, and if we can mix that in the right way, we are going to put this technology in front of way more people. There's the user experience enhancements. Web 2 companies have mastered for years user experience. And in Web 3, we still have a lot to grow in the direction of a better user experience. So these partnerships can help us understand how to create the best experience possible for users. We've got the tech integration. Web 2 companies, obviously, as we know, can benefit a lot from integrating Web 3 solutions, whether that's to create a more secure and transparent experience for their users. We've got the infrastructure support. Web 2 companies with robust infrastructure can support Web 3 projects and help them scale and grow faster. Knowledge transfer. Again, this happens with most of the partnerships that you can do, but when you do it between Web 2 and Web 3, the set of skills, the gap between these set of skills is huge. And so there's really different perspectives on the industry and technology. And so there's an even bigger knowledge transfer in these partnerships. Capital and resource allocation. Web 2 companies usually have way better access to capital. And having the right partnership with the right companies, again, can bring more capital into Web 3 projects, and that's going to improve innovation. And market validation. You need users to trust you. You need the market to trust you. And Web 3 is still a new baby. And if you can partner with the right companies that have been for years in the game, you can more easily get this trust from new users. Cross-pollination of ideas. Again, if you can exchange different ideas, there's a great chance that you're going to succeed. And if you do that between Web 2 and Web 3, the chances are even higher. So I'm going to be talking right now about a recent case where a hot Web 3 brand called Pudgy Penguins, an NFT project, and the big player of Web 2, of the real world, let's say, Walmart. I'm going to be talking about this collaboration between these two. So when Walmart decided to put Pudgy Penguin toys in 2,000 of their stores, what happened? Well, there was a massive surge in trading volume. We're talking about 241% increase in just 1 week, which is the kind of spike that gets everyone's attention into the NFTs, into Web3. And this attention can open a lot of doors for other projects to follow the same playbook, basically. So we're mixing the Web 2 distribution power, because they have the users, they have these established distribution channels, and Web 3 has the solutions. And so that happened when Pudgy Penguins and Walmart came together. You buy a $12 toy, and all of a sudden you're part of the Pudgy Penguin gaming platform. You're creating avatars, and you're playing these fun games, and it's a simple yet brilliant way of putting this new technology, Web3, in the hands of millions of people that wouldn't otherwise get in touch with our technology. But there are things to consider before you close a partnership agreement with a Web2 company. You need to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your business and of your potential partner, because they should complement each other. You need to set clear objectives, clear goals. You need to know what you are expecting from this partnership, You need to keep a constant communication. Implement feedback processes so that you can constantly get the feedback from your partners, get them to know about your concerns, your challenges. Then there's the technical integration. There's a lot of technical aspects that you have to consider before creating a partnership that will involve technical implementations. The design. Your product should be user-centric. You need to focus on the customer and you need to provide the best experience ever. And especially if you're creating a collaboration with a Web2 company, they have users that are not used to our tech stack, so the design must be one of the greatest focus. Then we've got the legal and compliance check. You need to be aware of all the legal aspects that are going to be played out on this partnership because we are working with different frameworks, so you must be aware of that. Then you should always set some metrics. You need to evaluate how this relationship is working along the way. You need to analyze so that you can adapt if needed. And continuous learning and again, adaptation. Especially in Web3, there is a market that is rapidly changing and growing. Every day things change. So you need to keep learning and you need to adapt to these changes as quickly as possible. And you need to keep engaging with the community. Your community and your partners' community. That way you can show that you're really providing value to them and you care about them. Sustainability. You need to consider if this partnership that you're aiming for can be sustainable in the long term. Is it just going to be 1 week collaboration? Are you going to try to make these last for years? You need to consider that. But there are some challenges. Not everything is easy. And so most of the times there can be technical compatibility issues. We're talking about really different technologies. And so sometimes making these integrations between a Web2 project and a Web3 project can be a big issue. It's not that you can overcome that challenge, but you need to be aware that it can happen. Again, the regulatory compliance. You can get to these issues due to some legal aspects. User adoption. You need to make sure that you have a great user experience. Again, privacy and security concerns can also be a great challenge because there are different ways of handling data and security aspects from Web 2 to Web 3, and so this can also be a great challenge. The cultural differences also play their role. There's a huge gap between the cultures of both industries, and we know that Web 3 has this very niche culture, so sometimes finding a compatibility between these two can be a little bit hard. Resource allocation. It's not always easy to know exactly what budget should you put into a partnership, how many people you need, and all the other resources. There could be some scalability issues. If the partnership goes into the right direction, you're probably going to get a lot more users, but your systems need to be ready for that scalability that is needed. And sometimes that's not technically possible due to a lot of restrictions. So in some cases, it could be a challenge. And the value proposition clarity. It's not always easy to set your value proposition in the right way. And if you get misinterpreted, it could be a problem. Then again, the long-term sustainability, it can be an issue because you can think that this partnership has everything to last for years, but it may not always be the case, and that's why you should keep evaluating because at some point it might not be worth it for both parties, and you might have to end this relationship. And again, this is in some way similar to the cultural differences, community acceptance. Some communities are really hard to make them happy, let's say. And so it may be not easy for them to accept these collaborations that you're trying to do with some specific Web2 brands. So yeah, throughout this presentation, I have at least tried to show you how Web2, Web3 partnerships can bring innovation into this industry. I really believe that Web2 brands will naturally gravitate towards the Web3 companies that have a big reputation and that have credibility. And the sooner you start to build up their reputation in terms of previous partnerships, the higher are your chances of success. And one way of doing that is by using PartnerJack. Again, as I've said, this is a platform to find partnerships in Web3, and we're working on a tool to get feedback from your previous partnerships and build your reputation on chain, as well as to close partnership agreements. So I hope if you have a Web3 project, if you're working for a Web3 project, I really hope you consider these collaborations with this different industry of Web2 and evaluate the benefits. And I hope you start to shake some great hands with these big players. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you for the talk. It was interesting. My question is, what are the benefits of being on your platform, basically, for a Web3 project?
Sure. So the platform basically allows users to list their project and look for other projects with the specific goal of forming strategic partnerships. Whereas on LinkedIn, you can send 100 messages to different companies, but you never know if they're actively looking for partnerships. You don't have the right filters for specifically Web3, and you never know which person in charge, who is in charge of creating partnerships. So you get lower response rates, and you don't have this great filtering system. So with PartnerChain, you can increase your response rates, and you know that the companies that you're reaching out, they are looking for exactly the same thing as you. And in the near future, we are going to implement, as I said, this tool to close the partnership agreements on chain, which is going to make these processes way more transparent and will allow you to build a reputation around the way that your company performs with partnerships.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It would be nice to hear some real-life cases you maybe already have encountered. Okay, this company had this struggle, they found this company, we helped as an intermediary to make that happen, then this happened because of that. As a result, they're now doing this and this. That I missed a little bit.
You're asking about
A real-life case of what your product do.
Yeah, so we don't have that yet because this is very early. I started, it's just me yet, 6 months ago. So the platform is in beta phase now and has been live for 2 months. We have now 31 listed projects. So as much as I would love, I still don't have a real case that was supported by the platform. Companies are currently communicating, so I know there are being discussions about potential partnerships, but there isn't still, again, we don't have yet the tool to close these partnership agreements, so they are still being done outside of our platform. Our chat is like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So yeah, we're really early, but we're trying to get as much great projects as possible and try to grow from this.
All right, that makes sense.
Thank you.
All right.
That's it, I guess. Thank you, Leonardo.
Thank you guys.